So now we need a roll call. Again, for a regular session, please.
Sounds good. Trustee Thurman. Here. Trustee King.
Present.
Trustee Bradlow.
Here.
Trustee McNutt. Here. Supervisor Huss.
Here.
Also present are having Commissioner Craig Smith with substitute today. And quorum is present.
All right, next on the agenda is presentations and Fox Valley Community Services rescheduled, so they'll be coming to a future meeting. Public comments, there's no one from the public here. So next, moving into reports, supervisors report. So tomorrow is Erica's 19-year anniversary with the township. 19 years she's been here. And then this board packet contains my first run at doing all the accounting. So in time, it's going to be less time consuming. Jody's official last day was Tuesday, 12/27. She retired from the township at that time, and that was reflected in November minutes. Worked with our QuickBooks rep this week on the payroll, and she is telling me about some updated ways to do things. So I had a just brief conversation with Rich about in the future when she comes and some of the ideas she has to have him sit in on those meetings, because that will impact his employees too. And then our CPA will be coming next week and teach me a little bit more about the record keeping and things like that, so that we're adequately prepared for the audit. And Happy New Year. All right, clerk's report.
Yeah, absolutely. So I want to start this by saying that, you know, the discussion of controversial things is very important for a healthy balance. I know that I don't want to deny anyone that right when I'm saying this, right? But I think at the last meeting, things got, you know, a little bit off track. I know you all got materials and things about that, but it did make the job of recording what happened a little bit harder, right? And I don't say this to stop any kind of conversations we have, right? Because sharing opinion is an important part of society, right? Like, we're all important fixtures in this community, and I know I want to silence those conversations, but, you know, making them after the meeting would make my job a fair bit easier, because it kind of was like a meeting, and there was also a very interesting, but, you know, a conversation kind of happening on the side too, and it kind of was disorienting. So I know that, you know, Supervisor Hess is providing materials, but also from the office of the clerk, I would really appreciate keeping the meeting on track to the best of our ability. Not that, you know, nobody's perfect, things happen, but right, you know. So yeah, thank you. If there's any questions about what I said, I'm happy to take them too. Otherwise, that's it.
Thank you. Have a commissioner's report.
Yeah, I'm gonna start at the top of my long list here, but I've hired Karen somewhat away from the township. She'll start for the road district full time. I think she gave her resignation to Mary today. I followed up with an email to Mary about the fact of not wanting to leave the township high and dry, that kind of thing. I think she gave a 2-week notice. You know, so as far as, you know, answering phones, those kind of things or anything is, you know, so give to Mary plenty of time to make a transition for, you know, what her plan will be moving forward for that position. Karen will be taking over my office, which is located in the very back over on that south end of the building. I'm going to be moving into this office here that's unoccupied right now, and we're going to sort out all the furniture in that building, or in this office, I'm sorry, computer, and that is split between the township and the road district. So, and I sent Mary an email a few days ago asking if she wants me just to purchase it from the, you know, pay her for the half of that and stuff like that. So we got to work out those kind of details. So I got 8 total applicants, I think, and resumes. 3 that I decided on, Karen being one of them, and interviewed all 3 of them. For for the road district, it was, had three really quality, resumes, actually. The familiar, God, I can never say that word. Being so familiar with Karen and, stuff like that was, you know, she asked me originally, when I asked her to post all this, if she could apply for the position. And just said that she felt like that was something she can evolve into and wanted a little more of that kind of stuff to do. So I couldn't deny her, of course, so that's kind of where that ended up. So I don't want to, you know, create any problems here in the building or hard feelings that way. You know, it was a great fit for me. And that's why I you know, kind of thrown out the olive branch there that it, you know, she can do for the township as long as possible to give Mary plenty of time to get things going that direction. So that'll start. I'm sorry, the 30th, Monday, the 30th, be her first day over at the road district. So yeah, that's that. Signs, we've been. I'm sorry, go ahead.
With Karen, is there anything that we can do to help facilitate or help her? I'm thinking just get her something, a card or something, to help facilitate that movement, just to make it as smooth as possible for her.
I don't know, you know, I will definitely ask. I know we are gonna, Karen's working right now to set up a kind of a little retirement thing for Jody here.
Right.
Like, Jody was here 38 years.
Right.
So I mean, she was here a long time. And I think, you know, Rich has been here a lot longer than I have. And he can speak at her work ethic and things are something that'll never get replaced in this building. You know, it's just phenomenal. So I have that on my list to bring that up here. I don't even think she was really awarded properly by all the effort she's put in over the years here.
Jody?
Yes.
That's what I'm saying. And I'm a big supporter of, you know, celebrating people when they make transitions to make it so. And, you know, so Jody's making a transition to retirement and Erica has an anniversary coming up. Maybe we could do something for all three of them.
Yeah, and I almost think for Jody, I think it needs to be something separate because of, you know, I mean, that's, you know, I'm not gonna say what her age is, but I know it's over 60.
Right.
So when you take that and how many years she's put in here, that's the majority of her life, you know.
Right.
And I can say in the 10 years I've been here, she's done payroll every single time, every 2 weeks, whether she's on vacation or not. Even back to the days of handwriting checks. So I mean, she would come in here on her days off and do that.
And that's something worth celebrating.
Yes.
And it would be nice if the township trustees, because I think we need more opportunities like that where we can, so that we appreciate the, you know, employees here, give them, you know, and I'm just thinking about my own position. If I leave NIU after 30 years, I want a ticker tape parade and a band behind me.
You know,
Funny.
so you know, I haven't looked at the board yet. I want to say that Jody's the third longest term ever in this township since 1850. John Huber, my predecessor, being the first at 42 years. John Idaco was 38 years. And I think Jody is now, because, you know, and I'm including that year or two she was here part-time because she's still doing enough work for a full-time position in 2 days. You know.
And maybe we could get the mayor to do a proclamation thing.
We
could do one.
We could do something for the township. That would just be a really nice gesture.
Yeah, so I mean, she's got family, a son out of town, so I know Karen's been in contact with them. You know, she does not want anything.
Jody
Of
does.
course
Does
not.
not want anything, any recognition whatsoever. I know there's a lot of,
You'd like a pizza party.
yeah, I've asked her numerous times and she's like, I don't want anything. I just. want
Yeah, no one turns down a plaque, even if we got that, you know, something that said, you know, third.
I'm not sure there shouldn't be a plaque put on the wall and build it.
That's my exactly point. Get her a plaque.
You know, there's not a question that, you know, I
Who
know,
doesn't like cake? I'm just saying.
you know, I know there was a lot of supervisors retired and that are still at it. That late when they first started, she went over on her days off and helped them figure out how to start their book work, you know? So, I mean, there's.
Show them the ropes.
Yes, and the GA information and stuff like that. So, I know I'm being very long-winded, but.
I just say this, Craig,
uh,
that usually when people have been someplace for a long time, at least is my experience, particularly at NIU, they have a book where people can sign. So even if people come and they can't stay, they can sign and go, hey, it was nice working with you, blah, blah, blah. So I think we should.
Yeah, and I know, Mary got her a card that we all signed, and it was, I think, a very good gesture. I think there could be a plaque here in the building, we all our names are gonna end up right up here someday and are up there right now. So, but she's the person that's kept this operation moving very smoothly. This building getting built originally in '89, she was, valued at that. 6 supervisors, what did I say when they're on our last day? 6 supervisors, 3 assessors and 2 idiot highway commissioners. That's what she went through, so.
I know I'm gonna make it even more long-winded with saying this, but we should not let employees leave, even when they say stuff like that they don't want anything.
Oh, right.
Some people without celebrating them as much as possible.
And I'm a true believer in that because there's people at the county highway department and stuff that asked about that.
I work with it.
A ton of connection, and I think that'll help, you never know when we'll need someone here, but there's someone that say, yeah, they treat their employees well, it'll be a great train for us to get somebody else.
Or heck, you may have to call them one day and go, hey, I know you're retired, but we're looking for X, Y, and Z.
Yeah, what's the combination to this closet?
And that's another.
Trust me, she's on speed dial.
Oh, okay.
And she still works for the road district, doing it from home. I don't have any issues with it. She's already brought it, I've got all the stuff and there is a note here she with the new, as Mary suggested, she did mess up some dates on some of the paperwork, transitioning over from the way we knew these books to be. So I highlighted them in my books, but and I'll change them on the forms. They're not just basically end dates and things of that nature that I think she had the wrong year on one and stuff like that, 22 to 23, that kind of stuff. So
and I guess the last thing I thought was about the last thing I said, maybe we should even have a formal process, because I know at the university after 5 years, you get some type of something. It's just a recognition, you get a little plaque to say you've been here. And I just can't figure, Jody walking away without, something. And I don't even know Jody. I'm just thinking that there's anybody, just to, every day is not easy. So somebody can come in every day like that.
we're gonna have a knee operated on, so I'm trying to either get it done now, because there'll be a transition period and and she somewhat unexpectedly lost her husband less than a year ago. And she also did not miss any of the work that had to be done here during that. So she's a very dedicated person. So I can't talk highly enough about her. And I say this and she's my favorite person in this building, and I have been, because I would not have got to where I am today without her. Starting out the way I started.
Somebody
out,
like that.
So
I like the idea of the resolution and
Proclamation.
proclamation.
So
I will move on if that's okay, and
I'll buy the journal book if nobody can buy that out of their budget. If it's a book and it's a blank book, people just sign like, hey, do you remember me back in 1973? The big snowstorm? And she can read it, on a good day, bad day.
that's actually a pretty good idea. I will have Karen.
Okay.
Going through our site, the weather is phenomenal right now. I without being the downer, winter's still there somewhere. It just hasn't got here yet. So the guys have been doing signs. We're on a 10-year sign replacement rotation here. A lot of talk of moving that to 8 years, which is another way to, this comes from the federal government. So, last year, I want to say we spent about $19,000 on signs, which is extreme to bring everything up to that snuff. This year it was like $2,000. Now we can just start rotating a yearly thing. So finishing up with that, starting with my road projects, very small list this year. This year is gonna be very light with road work, moving into a big project year the following year. So building idea, I see Mary's got it on here, so I will just skip over that. We can discuss that stuff in a few minutes. Equipment purchases, things are not getting any easier to come by, so I'm making purchases now. I have a truck come due to be replaced for a 14 model year truck. So I will have to start like within the next 2 months, putting that together and ordering that. To hopefully see it in 12 to 18 months. That's just the nature of the beast right now. Some manufacturers are out 2 to 3 years. So, and other equipment, going down the list, had kind of a laundry list of furnace and breakdowns in the building here in the last 30 days. I think it was Mary's office was without heat for a little while. We had a computer board go down. This building is heated with a gas startup and then an electric heat all day to keep the building at what they call, occupied space heat. So there's in the ceilings are what's called VAV boxes. Don't ask me what that stands for because I have no idea. But they each have their own computer board that feeds every individual office for zone heating. Mary's failed, did finally got him out here to get that replaced. So I think she had like 15 space heaters running in there for a few weeks and blowing breakers, but I hope that she survived, and I apologize to her for that. Water heater failed finally, was the original one in the building from 1988. So got that replaced, lost the furnace out back, a hanging unit, that was not the whole unit, but just the board and that. And then we had the gas portion of our furnace at startup, had 64 alarms go off and shut it down over a 2-day period. So that was a Honeywell box had to be replaced and all cleaned out and stuff like that. But fingers crossed, we're back up and running right now. So yeah, I think that's all my list. Jody, yeah, I'm all done.
Speaking of Jody, I told her when I started that she's not allowed to retire until I retire.
So should we step out of you now?
She didn't make it. Not happy, but I did appreciate her time as well. Other than that, I don't have a whole lot. Mary asking me the billable EAV, getting her those numbers. My guys, we're just starting the quadrennial reassessment year. It's our 1 year that is the busiest of every 4 years. We look at the assessments of every single parcel in the township, and that's roughly 12,000. So it's a busy year for us.
Like physically go there?
Some physically, most of them we do drive-bys. Or we do a lot of comparing aerials from whether it's Google Maps or the county's aerials are a little older, so we actually compare aerials to property cards and information on our visual advanced pro system to know, okay, did we miss something? And we're also checking to make sure that the assessments are correct with the housing bubble right now, especially in 12 or 22 and 21. It's a very difficult balancing act.
How long of a process is that?
How long? We do it in 6 months.
Is there anything that residents can do to help or facilitate?
Yeah, if they added something, they can let us know.
Just got a permit. then.
Yeah, if they took a permit, we should get the permit from the city of DeKalb. There was a little glitch in the past, but it's been ironed out and we get permits better now than we probably ever have since I've been here. But yeah, that's.
I know, like my guys, me and Rich have had discussion, my guys and myself, when we're out and we see a new building in the county, in the township. Unincorporated, Rich is one of the first people. So proper assessments are done to each property. So
Some people just forget to get permits and.
the county doesn't send Rich permits, so.
Well, they do now, some,
Yeah.
Well, have a good year.
See you. next week, right?
You won't be bored.
Oh, that is very true.
Won't be bored.
I have a question outside of assessing, just, is that a Lions?
Yes, it is.
Okay.
We gonna talk about
Are you a Packer fan?
that.
Other than that, I'm good.
Trustees reports, trustee McNabb,
No report.
trustee Thurman,
No report.
trustee King.
I heard what the clerk said, want to acknowledge that. And at the end of that meeting, we talked about some training. Diversity, equity, and inclusion training. So I want to bring that up, because I think that's a good idea. And just, I think, some training for team building, because I think when you get a new team, it's probably important that you have some team building so that you kind of can get to connect and bond and collaborate with one another, because we don't just know each other. And so that would help us to probably operate better as a unit, as an organization. The students come back. What is it, next week? Tuesday, the 17th, the 16th is the observation of Dr. King. And so all of that hullabaloo is starting. You all may not experience it, but we do. So I thought I would just share that. I'm getting a lot of calls and emails from parents going, hey, what about this? What about that? Hey, what are you supposed to? I thought I would share that, because what that means is that your streets are going to get busy.
Oh, I'm well
And
aware.
I don't know what that means for assessment, but I'm sure,
A whole lot.
okay,
I mean, we do deal with landlords, obviously,
Okay.
for rental properties.
okay,
And
Occupancy.
we always use the 3 years prior to the assessment year. So what happens right now really doesn't affect me until next year.
okay,
So
okay.
it's always a 3-year running average.
All right, all right. And about the building challenges, it's interesting that you said that, because the night before I came, I was watching the news, and the airports have had a thing, something shut down all of that. So it's just something in the, I don't know, in the matrix right now.
Gremlins.
Yeah, that is shutting down. And it's always one of my concerns, like, man, what if somebody shuts it down, right? Or what if something happens? And I don't know how you prepare for that.
I mean, the hot water heater is just a thing, you know, I mean, it's. I don't know, 88, you know, I'll be.
You were on borrowed time.
Yeah, right, you know,
Yeah.
so, and like, I mean, the plumbers that we've used for Roger Seldell and his son, you know, he said, can't believe it lasted this long, and I can tell you the new one I'm carrying up the stairs is not gonna last that long.
Right, right.
So we are on 10 years here. We moved into when the new addition, the new HVAC system and everything. We moved in April of 2013. You know, so all this stuff was kind of fired up and tested. That's, you know, I've had 2 separate furnace people here, HVAC people. They don't like the word furnace anymore. So, but between the train, Ricardo from Train, and then we're trying a new kind of on the mechanical side of things. I've struggled with DeKalb Mechanical, tried a new company. Josh Joyner is his name. He worked for DeKalb Mechanical and has ventured out on his own and has 1 employee, a unionized shop for prevailing wage issues. So they were the first time here. And we'll see. I was very happy with them, with the work they did. It was very, you know, time effective and stuff like that. So, and they responded right away. He was able to get the board in a couple days. The train people did the ones in the ceiling, because that's more train specific, and both of them said, you just passed the 10-year, you know, so things are gonna start, you know, going, basically. So I just congratulated myself on that little nightmare I'm gonna live now for a while, so.
And same thing, they
And-
said
and
about
it's, you know,
replacement parts for the body.
But they said the average furnace in a home now only lasts 10 years.
Really? Oh, my gosh.
Be prepared.
I
Yeah.
just put one in, and Josh Joyner did it, and it was, you know, $5,800, and I had 3 of them.
In your house?
Oh.
Oh, Rich knows that.
Because it's zone heating.
Oh.
That's just maintenance.
Oh.
We already knew that.
Rich doesn't know anything that goes on in my house,
Okay.
okay? I have large trees to block out
Just,
Google Earth and,
you know,
Okay,
just maintenance for replacing AC and furnace.
There's usually some kind of event that honors Dr. King. And I don't know, I think one year, I maybe saw Mary or Jenny there. So I don't know if you know about that.
So they usually have a community day of service.
Well, that part I know, yeah, but there's usually something like, it's been at Westminster before, it's been at New Hope.
Oh, yeah,
Yes,
yes, I have been to that. I haven't, is there one this year?
Well, I don't know, that's why I was
Okay,
saying, I
yeah, I
don't,
don't know.
okay. All
Good
right.
to it. All right, trustee Bradlow? No report. All right, bill paying. So before we get into the approval, you'll notice just that it looks a little different in that there's 4 components to it. But for the purpose of approval, I just combined the amounts, the December amount from the December audit and then the January amount for the January bills paid to date. And I did put for today's meeting, and maybe this will have future meetings as well, I put page numbers in case you have any questions about any of the things on there. So that you can refer to those a bit easier. So can I get a motion to approve the December audit report in the amount of $436,681.08 and the January bills to pay in the amount of $84,473.85.
So. Second.
Discussion?
I think I have some discussion, I'm not sure which one that is, you said December?
Yes, we're doing December and January.
Okay, yeah, I have just some questions.
Okay,
On page 4, I think, under December. Yeah, that's at the bottom, the
yes,
written page 4,
yes.
it says, Bush Edwin, well, I don't necessarily need to say the name. Because my question is, should his name be there?
That is a landlord's name.
Oh, okay,
Not a,
not a,
not a
okay,
client.
okay. And my other question is, on page 5, 1230, it's a blank and then it says interest.
That's the interest earned on the account from the bank,
Oh, okay.
because it's income.
Right.
There's no negative number next
Yeah.
to 14, so
Yeah, well, and there's nothing here that
Right.
says that,
because
so,
that's no outgoing statement, so like that would be where the check, whoever the check would be addressed to would go there.
oh, so this is
that will happen.
incoming,
Right.
okay,
And you know what, really, it probably even shouldn't be on there because this is an expenditures report.
okay,
So, I will. I probably shouldn't have even done that, so.
okay.
It's just a
Sure
learning
not to
curve.
do it.
We do pay.
Yeah, well, and I was learning too, as I was looking, and I have another question, even though I think I know the answer to this one. This is on page 9 of I guess it's the same thing, yeah. Well, no, this is the
This is the bank
January.
reconciliation.
Yeah, so that large number at the end, what is that? I can ask by my name, I don't know other people's business. Is that over time?
No, these not see the balance up here, so the negative number shows what's left in that account.
Or
And that-
okay.
I'm sorry, Mary, if I talked over.
Is that,
Are you talking about in the balance?
Yeah.
Far right. column.
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
all right, yeah, that makes
Yeah.
sense. Okay, and the next page, page 10,
Mhm.
it's all zeros.
Yeah, this is something that we need to do, go into QuickBooks and clean up, and Bill Newkirk's gonna help with that.
Okay,
It's because things were started in QuickBooks in the past and then never really executed on. Or, Jody didn't receive the formal training for it, so these are some of the glitches that we have to get to.
oh, okay,
So that will hopefully by next month be gone.
okay, I think that's it, except usually I get a little piece of paper saying, here's how much you got paid this month.
That you yourself,
Yeah,
Your pay stub,
Yeah.
it's in that envelope, the white
Oh, it's in
envelope.
the tax thing. Okay,
Yeah, your pay stub and your W-2s.
okay. All right, and so I will also get the, what do you call it? The reimbursement check at another time.
Once
Is
these
that
are approved, I have a note to myself to pull trustees' checks out of here and distribute them tonight.
Oh,
They
okay.
have to be approved first.
All right. Well, those are my questions. What about anybody else? And maybe I asked somebody else's questions as well. I'm sure I wasn't the only person.
Trustee Bradlow, any questions?
No.
You never?
Just one resource bank on, that's on the written page 4.
Mhm.
Resource bank, there's no description in there, memo.
Page 4.
Yes. And it's $35. That's all.
That is that is for the ACH charge and the payroll protection or check protection thing. It's a service charge,
Oh, okay.
so I can add that in there. Any other questions? for Trustee Thurman?
Oh, that's good.
Trustee McNutt? All right, clerk, will you please call roll?
Trustee McNutt,
Yes.
trustee Bradlow,
Yes.
trustee King,
Yes.
trustee Thurman,
Yes.
and supervisor House.
Yes.
With 5 ayes and 0 nays, the motion passes.
All right, next is receive, file, and approve treasurer's December budget report, and again, that would be for both budgets. So can I get a motion to receive, file, and approve the treasurer's December budget reports?
So moved.
I'll second. Discussion? Roll call, please.
Trustee King,
Yes.
trustee McNutt,
Yes.
trustee Bradlow,
Yes.
trustee Thurman,
Yes.
and supervisor House.
Yes.
With 5 ayes and 0 nays, the motion again passes.
Next, moving on to unfinished business, intergovernmental agreement between DeKalb Township and DeKalb Township Road District for use of property. Just gonna say it's still in the works.
Still in the works, yeah, I sent out some emails a few days ago with the MetroNet bill.
Yep, I got that.
It was very, me and Rich went through it together, Rich being the numbers guy and. The road district was paying like 19.08%. I forgot to bring it with me tonight, but you know, it's just, I understand why, and Jody did it, she divided it up per computer and use. You know, and I just wanted to simplify it because I think it's a lot of math that, you know, so I think being a little long-winded, it's just. I said just divide it all in thirds. The assessor pays a third. I think Rich was good with that. I haven't got a response from Mary yet, but the township and the road district, just divide that portion, the phone bills. For all the different phones, I think there's total like 10 or 12 lines comes into the building. I wasn't paying anything for the fax machine. So I was gonna pick up 50% of that. I have only one phone. I don't know how many they had, I think 3 and 4 or something of that nature, so those are all itemized out, those are easy to divide up, and the taxes just divide by 3 or. Rather than break that down per phone line, to kind of just simplify that moving forward, I think it'll make it. With Mary doing her own thing and just all this whole transition with bill paying, I think it'll make it easier. But as I put in there, if anyone's got any other suggestions or wants me to send them a copy of I know I've got a copy and I think Mary's got a copy of that bill. I used the November bill from MetroNet. I think that's down. Me and Rich worked together and got a map laid out in the front of the building. I have a call with John tomorrow about some things. So yeah, there's gonna be a little more going back and forth, but I think we're all hopeful that we can finally bring this to head here in another, by February, so. February, right? Thanks for that.
Yes.
Months. So I apologize, but. So that's where I'm at. Mary, has anything to add?
Yeah, just that with preparing for this meeting, that's why I didn't respond to the MetroNet question.
Just
But
the internet is what we were, I mean, it doesn't make any sense to split it up per computer because you need it, I need it. We'd all be paying
Right.
separately if we're in different
Yeah.
locations, just split it in thirds.
Yeah,
Because
I mean, like
it's not on a use base.
all the TVs have internet.
Internet,
to them or, you know,
Right.
Internet isn't on a use base for us,
This one's
so
shared between the road. district
Yeah.
and we just,
just make more.
Yeah,
sense
I
what
had
it is
to
for-
make a spreadsheet to figure out how to pay that bill.
Yeah, that's,
Because it's so complicated.
that's why it's
Yeah.
just, would be easier.
Right.
Each line, okay, that's fine, the $19 or whatever it is per line, I don't know.
12 or 27.
I don't know, the rest of the bill split in thirds, call it a day.
And they're all listed by phone number, so it's easy if you know your own number, I think.
And I don't know what's going on, but the mail service has been really poor so far this year. And a lot of bills that we usually have by now, we haven't received yet. And so,
Things I've been waiting
It's,
for.
Lots of holidays.
The mailman's told me and Karen yesterday or today that I think like 78% of their staff is sick right now. So we didn't receive mail at home for almost a week and a half.
No kidding.
No, and because we recently moved, my wife has it on her, you know, shows that you're gonna get mail today and didn't get it.
No
didn't get
mail.
it, yeah, and then our box was overflowing, you know, so I do know it's, you know, with the post office, so, but we can't stop the post office, right? So,
all right, any questions on the development of the IGA?
No, I'm just glad you all are, not a question, just comments. I'm glad you all are making progress and it's, sounds like it's working out.
yeah, no, I think it's
Yeah.
going well.
So that's just a compliment. Good work, guys.
Okay, moving on to new business, resolution 2023-001T, authorizing expenditure in the amount of $5,000 to Society of St. Vincent de Paul. For these, I'm just gonna do discussion first and then we can take the vote. This is just a follow-up to our presentation last month to their request for $5,000 for their supply closet program. They did send us the list of items that they need and that they collect, and Karen has put that out on Facebook multiple ways. We have yet to have a donation here, but and ironically, Erica was telling me about a client today who has a need to utilize this service based on an event that happened here. So
I'm sorry, Mary, you said they've yet to have a donation here?
yeah, we said we would accept donations here on behalf
Oh,
of,
we're a site.
yes,
Okay.
and so, but we haven't received it. So
Do they not have anything? Cause I maybe can help.
oh, no, they have stuff. I mean, just to keep their supply up, they accept donations.
Oh, okay.
So does anyone else want to contribute to any discussion before we take a vote? Okay. All right, so can I get a vote to approve resolution 2023-001T, authorizing expenditure in the amount of $5,000 to Society of St. Vincent de Paul? A motion.
I'll second.
Roll call, please.
Absolutely. Trustee Brandon,
Yes.
trustee McNutt,
Yes.
trustee Thurman,
Yes.
trustee King,
That'll be a yes.
and supervisor House.
Yes.
5 ayes and 0 nays, the motion passes.
All right, so I will get that check printed tomorrow and out to them. Next is resolution 2023-002T, authorizing expenditure not to exceed $15,000 for senior utility assistance program. So just a little background on that. I have emailed you all a program proposal on that. And having conversations with other human service providers in the area, with the rising costs of home energy prices, seniors who live on a fixed budget are struggling. And so this is a program that other townships do provide. It's more comprehensive in the sense that if a person falls into one income range, we can maybe help them with emergency assistance. If they fall into another income range, we can help them with LIHEAP. If they are over income for LIHEAP, then that's this township assistance program, senior utility assistance program exists for that purpose. Similarly structured to emergency assistance, they can only get it once in a 12-month period. The stipend depends on whether it's a single person or two people, both seniors living in that household. And then we can also provide them with information about some of the other services that exist, like the energy efficiency, where people will come into your home and wrap your pipes and replace your light bulbs, things like that, so that, you know, if they're over income, we're still providing something to them. And hopefully by referring to it as senior utility assistance, we're likely to attract more seniors who tend to shy away from asking for help.
I think it's good.
Or refusal of that.
I thought I read 150 someplace.
There's 150 in that line item for the budget, but we're not going to exceed 15,000
Oh, okay, okay,
for this particular program.
all right. Well, at least my
That's a lot of
memory's
gas
still-
bill, but 150,000.
Well, that's what I thought, and then when I see 15, I'm thinking, did I read something wrong? Okay.
You spend on that, you first time on utility bill.
I get it.
I did the math and it like, I don't know. I want to say it was between 30 and 40 people that could potentially qualify. Yeah, or that we would have funding for.
Well, that's like $500 a person.
So we've already discussed kind of the promotion plan and how we will get this information out into the community and through some direct conversations with residents who, you know, like attend the senior center, to being on the radio and things like that. Does anyone have any questions about it before we take a vote?
Just one, what happens if once we get to that 15,000 and there's a request beyond that?
I could, yeah, we could come
We can
back.
come back.
That'll be more money.
And I mean, we're soon going to be going into a new fiscal year, so there'll be money designated. It's just that right now, not to exceed 15,000. We'll see how well it's utilized. All right,
I would suggest the Farm Bureau, they send out like a quarterly, or if you can put an ad in there, you know, because you have, you know, retired people out in the rural area.
right. That's what I want to, you know, people who live on propane, use propane.
Actually, yes, I'm a member of the Farm Bureau.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Get the little.
I'll throw your name around.
Okay.
Steve Davis is the president. He's the DeKalb Township president. So.
All right, so can I get a resolution or get a motion to approve resolution 2023-002 authorizing expenditure not to exceed $15,000 for senior utility assistance program?
I will.
I'll second.
Roll call, please.
Trustee Bradwell,
Yes.
trustee King,
Sure.
trustee Thurman, are you excited about that?
Oh, yes.
Sorry, I teased. Trustee Thurman,
Yes.
trustee McNutt,
Yes.
and supervisor Hess.
Yes.
5 ayes and 0 nays, the motion passes.
All right, and the last resolution, 2023-003T, adopting procedures for capital fund expenditures. So in having some conversations with our attorney and the accountants, it was recommended to separate funds that are intended for capital fund purposes, to separate those, pull them out of our general fund, town fund, and put them into their own accounts, especially with the over accumulation of funds lawsuits. So you will notice that on page 3 of those, the expenditure reports on 12/28, transfer capital funds in the amount of $250,000 was made at Resource Bank. So an account was opened for town capital funds and then cemetery capital funds. So earlier on, well, last year, I guess it would be, when the budget was approved, it was approved that we were we were putting away money to prepare for future projects. And so that was approved. So this is just a way to separate those funds. And then if there are any, if let's say something happens in the building and we have to contribute to improvements, and that was part of the plan for putting away those capital funds, then we will draw that money out of that account rather than our general town account. So we're keeping things separately and it's a little bit cleaner that way. And then it's interest bearing, so we're accumulating some money on it. And then when we do this budget, this coming budget, and we have some capital funds, those will be deposited into those accounts so that they're separated.
Does this have an impact on the people that? Okay,
They get back.
On who?
the people every year, they sue.
All the people that come after us because we didn't spend enough money.
And you may want to look into the new LO Association down in Springfield because they're interested. It's a lot better.
Yeah.
And you can
Looked
get
into it.
access to that fund money at any time. I just put a bunch of money for the highway commissioners. Yeah, they're really easy.
All right, so
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
How do we look into what he just said? Because that sounds pretty good.
I got the information at the TO.
yeah, the TOI conference, I stopped at the booth and have that information, but we had to take this step first, so.
Okay, all right.
And I've talked to Brad about it, and that's one of the subjects I'm gonna discuss with Newkirk when he comes next week.
Okay.
Trustee Bradlow, any questions?
No.
Okay, Trustee Thurman?
Just one related to Newkirk, is that the topic, because they, I'm understanding they're gonna still come and talk to us as a group?
Yes,
Just to-
yeah, that'll be
and
down
then we'll wanna
down
talk.
the road a little bit.
Perfect.
Just like that. All right, so can I get a motion to approve resolution 2023-003T, adopting procedures for capital fund expenditures?
So move.
I'll second that. Roll call, please.
Trustee Bradlow,
Yes.
trustee King,
Yes.
trustee Nachette,
Yes.
trustee Thurman,
Yes.
and supervisor Hess.
Yes.
5 ayes and 0 nays, the motion again passes.
All right. Next, approval of minutes of the regular Board of Trustees meeting October 12th, 2022. Can I get a motion to approve those minutes?
I will.
Okay. I will second that. Discussion? Everyone in favor? of Approval? Aye. Aye. Anyone opposed? Okay. It's passed. Next is, can I get a motion to approve the minutes of the regular Board of Trustees meeting November 9th, 2022?
I'll be the person.
You said, okay. And a second?
Say you are.
No, I asked for a second. Discussion? All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Okay, most passed. And then the approval of minutes of the regular Board of Trustees meeting December 14th, 2022. Should we pass those? I'll make that motion. Wait a second. 12 seconds, discussion?
I just want to apologize that if it was a lot of. If it was a challenge to create the, to take the minutes. I'll take some responsibility.
No, that's completely.
No, I know. I just want to say that I'm.
No, I think it's something that we didn't realize would be a problem with what happened. We had a conversation on moving on, but For what it's worth, Trustee King, I would love to help you plan that, whatever diversity, equity and inclusion thing, so we don't have,
All right, but we're gonna focus on staying on task.
yes.
All right, so all those in favor, signify by saying aye. Anyone opposed? All right, so those pass. Old business, there's nothing. And unfortunately, we have to go back into executive session for one more topic. So can I get a motion to enter into executive session to discuss pending or imminent litigation pursuant to 5 ILCS 120/2 C11?
So move.
A second.
Roll call, please.
Trustee King,
Yes.
trustee Thurman,
Yes.
trustee Bradwell,
Yes.
trustee McNabb.
Yes.
Supervisor House.
Yes.
5 ayes and 2 nays, the motion passes and we enter into executive session. Second to close this.